Jackson State will enter the season as the number 17 team in the country, highest ranked HBCU, the only HBCU ranked. Let's talk about it, what it means for Coach TC Taylor and his team going into the 2025 season, as we're less than a month away from the start of football season. I can't wait. I just can't wait. I can't wait. Let's talk about it after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the VictoryFormation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYjr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because I upload all the time. Now, Jackson State, it has been revealed that they are the number 17 team in the country in the FCS poll. Let's go ahead and show you the graphic because, JSU, they do it really well when it comes to the graphics and all these things to broadcast, to let everybody know that, hey, Tigers take the number 17th ranked spot in the latest FCS poll. It says stats perform FCS poll. JSU's number 17 going into the season. So they will be preseason ranked number 17 in the country. The only HBCU that will have a preseason ranking. I don't think that'll be the only HBCU that finishes with a preseason ranking because I think North Carolina Central can be really good. But it's the only one that starts with an FCS ranking. Others that received votes, let me go ahead and go to the article because I don't want to misquote it. And we're going to show where JSU finished last season. We're going to switch over here to this tab because there's some interesting teams on here ahead of JSU. Obviously, we got Jackson State 12-2 last season, 8-0 in the SWAC. Their final ranking in 2024 was 18. And that's why this is the important thing about this. Because the reason why JSU is great of a season as they had, 12-2 and 8-0 in conference and Celebration Bowl champions. The reason why you are only able, let me make sure you guys can see that, you're only able to have a final ranking of 18 is because you didn't come in preseason ranked really high, right? Like the preseason ranking technically doesn't mean anything as far as like, you win games. It doesn't prevent you from winning the Celebration Bowl. It doesn't prevent you from winning a SWAC championship. It doesn't do any of that stuff. But having a high preseason ranking, it's almost a psychological kind of thing. Because if you don't have a high preseason ranking, especially since Jackson State and the other SWAC and MEAC conferences, they don't participate in the FCS playoffs unless you don't make it to the Celebration Bowl. So meaning you're not the best, they're not the best team in either the SWAC and the MEAC because you don't participate in the FCS playoffs for the most part. Having a high preseason ranking essentially is going to help you in the end because you're not going to be competing in the FCS playoffs. I hope all of that made sense, right? So having a higher preseason ranking doesn't put a cap on how high you could go, right? JSU probably finishes higher than 18 last season if they would have had a high preseason ranking. But I'm pretty sure they came into last season, the 24 season, unranked because they were coming off of a 7-8 win season the year before. So they probably came into the year unranked as opposed to coming into the year off 12 wins and having their quarterback return. So you're coming in at 17, meaning if you have a similar season, go 12-2 during the year, win a Celebration Bowl, win a SWAC championship, I can guarantee you won't finish at 17. You more than likely, because a lot of these teams ahead of JSU are not gonna have great seasons. I mean, they have Sac State. I think Sac State is gonna be awesome, but they have teams like Sac State who only won 3 games last year. Some of these schools aren't gonna have as great of a year as they believe, right? Like some of these schools are gonna underperform, and that's just how football is. That's how football works. And so if you have a JSU team that's preseason ranked 17, the chances, if you have another similar season, the chances of you ending the season at 18 is slim to none. You more than likely end the season in the top 10. That's why when I say preseason rankings technically don't mean anything, but they kind of still mean something. Because having a higher preseason ranking allows you to not hit a cap when you're climbing the rankings during the season. So this is big for Coach TC Taylor, but it only matters if you go out there and handle your business. And if you look at JSU's schedule, like their actual schedule, it only matters. None of this will matter if you go out week 1 and lay an egg to Hampton, right? August 30th in Jackson on HBCU Go. It'll be broadcasted on HBCU Go. It only works. None of this matters if you go out there week 1 to Hampton and lay an egg. I don't expect that to happen, but I'm just saying you have to play the game. And none of this preseason ranking, which you'll be ranked in the finals poll, all of that, none of that matters if you go out game 1 and lay an egg. But if you don't, like I don't expect you to, you go down and you beat Hampton, you have a major test against Southern Miss. But I will say, depending on how the Southern Miss game goes, even if you lose, it won't hurt you too bad. It just depends on how you lose. Now, I'm telling you what I'm hearing from the folks in Jackson. They believe they're going to win this game. Let me repeat. I'm telling you what I'm hearing from Jackson State. They believe that they have a roster to go there and to go to Hattiesburg and beat Southern Miss. They believe it. That there is no, I promise you, there'll be 10 to 15,000 Jackson State fans. If not, it might be closer to 20, but it's going to be 10 to 15,000 there because they believe that this is the year that they beat Southern Miss and they get that FBS win. They get that FBS win on the schedule. They believe it. I don't know if it's true, but this is what they believe. They believe they have a team, a quarterback, a coach, an overall team that'll allow them to go down to Hattiesburg and get the dub. I'm just saying. Now, if you do that, you'll catapult directly into the top 10, maybe even the top 5. 2 weeks into the season, even from ranking number 17, if you beat Southern Miss, you will catapult into the top 10. Once again, none of this matters if you lay an egg to Hampton, but if you do win that game and go and beat Southern Miss, now you're streamlining yourself, even with you not participating in the FCS playoffs. You're streamlining yourself to get a top 10 ranking by the end of the season, if not top 5. That's why the preseason ranking matters a little bit. Doesn't matter in the overall scheme of things, but it matters when it comes to where you can finish. Because if you're where you can finish, especially since you don't participate in the FCS playoffs. Continue to go through the Jackson State schedule. You got Tuskegee, Southern, your rival. You got the Gulf Coast Challenge, once again on HBCU Go against Alabama A&M. They got a bunch of questions. They got a new coach. I don't expect that to be particularly close. You always got the scary game against Alabama State. It's homecoming. It's homecoming for JSU. They got Bama State. Bama State's always given Jackson really good fights. Never really been able to get over the hump, but has given Jackson State a ton of fights. You get to avenge your game, your loss from last season against Grambling in Vegas at the Las Vegas HBCU Classic, once again broadcasted on HBCU Go. Obviously, you got your heated rival with FAM. You got your in-state rival against Mississippi State. You got Bethune-Cookman once again on HBCU Go, and then you end the season with one of your biggest, if not your biggest rival, in Alcorn. But that 17 preseason ranking is massive. There's a lot of really good games and a lot of HBCU Go games. We know Jackson State. ESPN has always gobbled up the Jackson State games in years past. They get 1, 2, 3, 4 games on HBCU Go. Who I believe is the best, broadcasting partner with the SWAC. I'm curious to see what the SWAC TV broadcast looks like, but from the current broadcast partners, HBCU Go is the best one, and I don't even think it's close, relatively close with their broadcast team. John Kelly, Charlie Neal. I know they're adding a bunch of new games, so I'm not sure who all is going to be on there this year, but they do the best production. They have the best broadcast, the game day experience, all of it. It's all the best. So having 4 JSU games on there is massive. And getting the legend Charlie Neal to call 4 of your games is always a blessing. But that preseason 17 ranking, it will allow them to continue to rise up the rankings throughout the season as they continue to stockpile wins. If they continue to stockpile wins, let me make sure, you got to play the games. Nobody's going to lay over for you, especially not the team that beat you last year in the Grambling, especially not teams that felt like they had an opportunity early in their games from last year, like a Bethune-Cookman. Bethune played JSU really, really well for a half. I remember Irv Mulligan went off in that game, but for a whole half, they had JSU on the ropes. And so teams like that are going to go into the game with confidence. But JSU is JSU, and they are the defending champs. If you want to beat the king, you got to beat the king. And let's see if anybody's able to do it. But being preseason ranked 17 will allow them to eventually, potentially, if they go out there and handle the business, crack the top 10 and finish. Not start, but finish potentially in the top 10. Maybe if you get a win over Southern Miss, maybe even sneak into the top 5. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Jackson State gets a preseason ranking of 17, which I think is a really good one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr. This is the VictoryFormation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button before you get out of here. Just a simple like, share, and subscribe because I upload all the time. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.